I apologize for the delay. Nothing like a little technical difficulty for a good adrenaline rush. All right. Well, hello everyone and welcome. We're just going to get started right away. Let's jump into the next slide. Oh, maybe now the slide's not working. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, this may be clunky today. Well, my name is Lisa Meckes, and I'm a senior associate with the California Carpet Stewardship Program. You know what? Before we get started, I'm just going to see if I can print these notes real quick, because otherwise it's going to be more clunky than anything. Okay. So my name is Lisa Meckes, and I'm a senior associate with the California Carpet Stewardship Program. And I am the primary contact for those of you in Northern California and some Central. And also in attendance is Jared Zitron, our senior associate, and the primary contact for those of you in Southern California and some locations in Central California as well. And also in attendance, we have Thomas Coates, the California Program Director, and some others from our team. We appreciate your attendance on this webinar. We know that you're all really busy, and I just want to extend a sincere thank you for joining and for being a part of the carpet recycling program. So the webinar is being recorded, and we will make the recording available on the CARE website for your staff that weren't able to attend. And we will also send out a PDF of the PowerPoint presentation in a follow-up email. Now let's see if I can change slides. Oh, it's working. Okay. So you are already likely muted, but please take a look at the control panel, either at the top or the bottom of your screen, and then make sure that you are muted. And if you are using your phone for audio, please mute yourselves on your phone. And then I also want to invite you to unmute yourself at any point if you would like to ask a question or make a comment. And if you prefer to write your questions or comments, please do so in the chat tab, and we'll do our best to keep an eye on the chat box. And we do track who is in attendance through the participant tracking system. So please take a look at the participant tab. If your name is not listed, please write your name and all the names of those in attendance with you in the chat box. Okay, I'm going to jump into the content of the agenda. We're going to start by welcoming new drop-off sites and giving a carpet recycling program update. So currently we have 163 carpet recycling drop-off sites throughout California, serving all 58 counties. And we did add 17 new drop-off sites in 2024. And here's a web address if you would like to take a look at the drop-off site map. We have met the convenient collection requirement of one drop-off site per 500,000 people, in addition to one drop-off site per county. And we do intend to grow the number of drop-off sites. So if you are a rural county with just one drop-off site, we'd be happy to establish a second one in the region. And if you have an affiliate location or know of a facility that is ready to divert carpet, please let us know and send them our way. And here is a list of the drop-off sites that adopted the carpet recycling program in 2024. So welcome and thank you for participating in the recycling program. And I want to give a shout out to Apex Manufacturing and Carpet Spectrum, Casper Transfer Station, Crenshaw Carpet, Crystal Materials, Elite Floor Covering, Fabrica International, Fairmead Landfill, Floors Plus, Holly Home Carpets, Madison Materials, Premier Recycle Company, Simi Valley Landfill, Willits Transfer Station, Waste Management Guadalupe, Waste Management Redwood, and Waste Management Sacramento. We are delighted to have you join the program and have you with us today. Okay, next up are a couple of program overview slides. So here is a bar chart showing the number of carpet recycling drop-off sites over time. You can see we started with 6 sites in 2012 and have grown to 163 sites at the end of 2024. And that's a 96% increase in just the last 4 years, just since 2024. And this chart shows total pounds of carpet collected by care drop-off sites. So by all of you folks. So in 2020, we collected 10.2 million pounds. And in 2024, we collected 21.6 million pounds. And that's a 112% increase in 4 years. So nice work, everyone. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we have 2 presentations. The first presentation is from Circle Point, a communications and environmental consultancy. Circle Point has joined the CARE team and has been focusing on the California Carpet Stewardship's collaboration with California's local government. Patty, are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. It's great to have you. And
All right.
let me know when you'd like me to advance the slides.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. My name's Patty Ransdell. I work for a company called Circle Point, and we are supporting the CARE program with local governments outreach. Next slide. We specialize in strategic communications, outreach, and marketing, and we've been supporting CARE with marketing, education, and outreach, very specifically targeted at our local government audience. We've worked with CARE to develop some toolkits and collateral materials that we've shared with local governments because we want to help support local government recycling efforts. Next slide. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about these toolkits that we've developed. The first one that we did was a local government's recycling toolkit, and it was kind of targeted towards local government recycling coordinators working in the recycling departments of their agencies. This toolkit includes a how-to for setting up a CARE drop-off site. It provides newsletter content and social media content to promote the new drop-off site, and it also provides information on how to prepare carpet for recycling, as well as outreach material for flooring installers and construction and demolition professionals. This toolkit is intended to be kind of plug and play for the recycling coordinators to make it easy for them to promote carpet recycling in their communities. And at the bottom of this slide is the URL for where this toolkit is found. And you can easily go there, grab it, download it, and put it into play. Next slide, please. We also developed a website toolkit. It's similar to the recycling coordinator toolkit, but it is intended to promote or to provide important information to the public that's going to public agency websites to search for how to dispose of used carpet. It's designed for local governments to post content, using content from the website or from the toolkit on their waste and recycling webpage search tool, or if they use the Waste Wizard, we also have content for that. And this is something they put on their landing pages, their search landing pages, or Waste Wizard landing pages. And it provides key information on the recyclability of carpet, the steps needed to take to recycle it, and the locations where it can be taken for proper disposal. Next slide. Oh, and I should mention the URL for the website toolkit is on the previous slide. So if you're interested in looking at that when Lisa sends out the PDF, you can grab it there. or you can go to the CARE website and poke around, and I'm sure you'll find it. We also developed a construction department counter card. This was focused on being distributed to building departments throughout the state. It was created for flooring installers and construction and demolition professionals. We sent actual hard copies, physical copies of this to the building departments in every California county, as well as the building departments for cities throughout the state. And we're happy to provide more. If departments run out of these, all they have to do is reach out to us and we'll be happy to send them more. This card is intended to be used for the audience. It's completing, building permit paperwork. They go up to the building department counter, they fill out their paperwork, and there's usually some informational materials related to the work they do there. And so this is something they could just grab and take away. And it serves as a reference guide, and it provides information about recycling carpet and where to locate a drop-off site. Next slide, please. And in 2024, because we wanted to get even more engaged with local governments, we established a local government task force. CARE wanted to put this together to obtain and provide on-the-ground insights into the most effective resources for increasing carpet recycling or carpet collection rates in these communities. Next slide, please. Oh, wait, nope, I'm sorry, go back.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Task force members are local government staff throughout the state who work in the waste and recycling areas of their respective jurisdictions. CARE is working to provide tailored support to these local jurisdictions represented by each of the task force members. Over the course of the year, we've conducted a couple of virtual meetings with these task force members and CARE, and we're able to have a really robust discussion format to learn the unique challenges that these members face with carpet recycling in their respective jurisdictions. This year, we are planning to meet with task force members one-on-one virtually to strategize different challenges that they're facing and offer some tailored support to each of the task force members to be implemented so they can implement this in their communities. Hosting this local government task force has also kind of helped us build stronger relationships between the local government agencies and the CARE team that support them. We are continuing the local government task force this year in 2025, and we're hoping to add some new additional members. So if you are interested in joining, please reach out to Lisa Meckes or Jared Zitron and let them know, and then we'll follow up with you and get you included. Next slide. That's actually the end of my part of the presentation. So.
Well, thank you, Patty. Does anybody have any questions for Patty? All right, well, I'm going to appreciate you for speaking to us today, Patty, and the work you're doing with local government. It's been interesting to work with them and, of course, with you. And I'm going to move on. So thank you so much. Okay, so next we're going to hear from Blue Strike Environmental, a consultancy that provides solutions for operational, environmental, and social performance. Blue Strike has been conducting a collection study for CARE. You might remember the update they gave during the summer webinar, or you may have been interviewed by their staff for the study. Brennan Jensen is here today to give us an update on the collection study. Brennan, are you here?
I am. And thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. And thank you for the introduction, Lisa. My name is Brennan Jensen. I'm the Director of Engagement and Resilience for Blue Strike Environmental. I'm also joined on the call today by my colleague, Katie James. As Lisa described, we were selected in the summer to come on board to complete a study looking specifically at the collection program, and in particular, one of the goals that's contained in the 5-year plan, which is a goal to attain 60% gross collections by 2027. The purpose of the study was primarily to assess the opportunities and potential barriers to attaining that 60% gross collection goal by 2027. And we're now nearing kind of the end of the process. And so we wanted to just circle back to all of you folks to give you a little update. Here in the second slide, you can see the overall timeline for the project, beginning back in June with a stakeholder engagement plan, an initial baseline condition review looking at some of the existing data. We then conducted some robust stakeholder engagement, and I want to take a moment to really thank all of you that are on the call. I know that many of you participated in our stakeholder engagement process by submitting surveys, responding to those surveys, and perhaps engaging in one-on-one interviews. I'm aware that at least 5 of you, lucky folks, received a $50 gift card to Home Depot. So I hope that folks who won those were able to enjoy that. All of the information that we've obtained in this process has helped us to generate over 50 strategies and 150 potential actions for consideration by CARE to help guide program planning moving forward, and is currently being synthesized into a draft report, which will be submitted shortly to CARE. We anticipate that the final report will be complete by the end of Q1. Jumping to the next slide, what I'd like to do today is just share with you a couple examples of some of the kinds of data that we looked at in this study. This is, of course, not comprehensive of everything we looked at, but it gives you an idea. So here is some of the types of feedback that we got from the survey. These are 2 questions in particular. On the left-hand side, you can see the different stakeholder groups that responded to this question with, in this case, landfills, transfer stations, and disposal sites, kind of the primary respondent, along with flooring and carpet retailers. On the right-hand side, you can see some of the types of motivations that drop-off sites reported back to us in terms of what helped them to decide to become a drop-off site, and kind of neck and neck there, 11 and 11. The responses were around the free collection and transportation service provided by CARE, and also the desire to protect the environment. Looking at the next slide, you can see some of the data analysis that we conducted. So in this case, we're looking at just the drop-off site collection volume. And in this case, what we've done is we've mapped the collection volume by county. We also did a similar projection per capita. In this case, you're looking at total collection volume by county for 2 unique years. On the left-hand side, you see collection volume for calendar year 2019. The darker colors of individual counties represent higher volumes of collection, with the lighter colors representing lower volumes of collection. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the second map is calendar year 2023. And what jumps out right away is you can see that there are more counties that appear in kind of that reddish fuchsia, the purple, and the dark black, indicating higher collection volumes over time. On the next slide, you can see another example of some of the data analysis that we conducted. In this case, we completed an analysis of rolling monthly averages of collection, both historically and also with a future projection. So on the left-hand side, the top line. The blue line is showing the rolling monthly average total collection per month over time. And the blue line is showing the urban sites, and the yellow orange line on the bottom is showing that same information for rural sites. As you move to the right-hand side of the graph where the line becomes dotted, that was one individual scenario that we did of what the future collections might look like forecasted out to 2028. So we did several scenarios. What the findings were is that we would anticipate that by 2027, total collections from drop-off sites will be in the neighborhood of about 22 million to 29 million. And currently, gross collections from drop-off sites represents about 25% of total collections for the program. So what we've done with this type of data, as well as from the really critical information that each of you provided through one-on-one interviews and or stakeholder input on the survey, is we've synthesized all of this information into strategy and action recommendations to help support the program moving forward. You can see in the next slide, all of this information will then be synthesized into a final report, which again, we anticipate will be completed by the end of this quarter. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions if there are any, and otherwise I'll pass it back over to you, Lisa.
Thanks, Brennan. We appreciate having you here. Is there any questions for Brennan or any thoughts about collection, anything that she spoke on that you would like to know more about? All right, and you certainly can reach out to her or me or Jared if you have any questions in the future, and I'm going to move on. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is an update from the California Program Director, Thomas Coates, on the new carpet recycling legislation, AB 863. Thomas, are you there?
Yes, I am here, Lisa. Thank you very much. And good morning to everyone on the call. Thomas Coates, the California Program Director. And I am pleased to be here today to just share give you a little update on pending regulations and the status of AB 863. So as we navigate the regulatory landscape in California, it's important that we prepare and address the ambiguity around Assembly Bill 863. So due to the absence and detailed regulations, the statutes are still in a drafting phase. So in response to these uncertainties, there is a cleanup bill, AB 80, that's being considered. Now, while we don't anticipate major changes to our operational model based on our current understandings, but the situation remains fluid. And so as program stewards, we're staying vigilant. And so today, I'll go through our slides here. And if you have questions, I'll take those at the conclusion of my presentation. So the purpose is to strengthen the carpet regulations as they currently are written. And so what we're looking for is clarification that will provide clearer direction for the existing laws for better compliance. And so that's what the state is going for here. Now, the challenge is that the law has been passed in September. However, there are no regulations. So that's where we are getting into the area of ambiguity and uncertainty for not only CARE, but also our stakeholders. Next slide, please. So here's some key provisions of 863. Enhanced reporting. So we will stakeholders, we're all going to be required to have more detailed records in terms of our compliance with the program. The penalties have increased or will increase to $10,000 a day for non-compliance, $25,000 a day for intentional violations. We'll also see an update to our recycling formula that will now be based on historical sales. And as we understand, sales have decreased in carpet, so that will not be a factor in formulating the new recycling rates. Next slide, please. So here's some improvements that we can look forward to, and which should also help aid in increasing the recycling collection, sorting, and ultimate processing. That is back stamping for carpets of all sorts by 2027. In addition, program improvement will include training grants. So those training grants will be available for the state's apprenticeship programs and other approved activity. We'll also be doing, as a mandate of the new laws, assessment of consumer awareness, as well as end users awareness of the availability of recycled carpet fibers. Next slide, please. So what does this mean for care? It means that we have to really pay attention to these laws as they're now beginning to be drafted in terms of the regulations. So there's going to be a real emphasis on meeting all the requirements by December of 2025. The state is proposing to support this new regulation and law by adding some training and guidance for care and other stakeholders. Strategic focus will be very important as we need to engage all of our stakeholders to make sure that we're in line in terms of our meeting the sustainability goals. And another challenge, as I mentioned earlier, is this navigating the uncertainties in these new regulations and just what those will mean to all of us that are involved in collecting and recycling carpet. Next slide, please. So that will conclude my presentation. Happy to take any questions or comments at this time. Okay, seeing none. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you giving us the update, and also with anything that we're presenting, if you have questions in the future, please reach out to us and we can do our best to clarify for you. All right, I'm going to move on to drop-off site operations. So I want to take a moment to talk about carpet tile recycling because some of you handle a lot of tile and others not at all. But we are seeing an increase in carpet tile in suburban and rural locations. And also there are some new developments for those of you who handle carpet tile regularly. So I'm going to go over the basics, which are carpet tile typically comes out of commercial, government, and educational buildings. And if you can, it's good to let building contractors or demolition customers know that carpet tile needs to be palletized to be recycled. And the tile should be sorted first by backing type and then by face fiber, stacking on a standard pallet no higher than 4 feet, wrapped with plastic and strapped. We often say stack, wrap, and strap. And for those of you who see a lot of carpet tile, we are growing our capacity to manage it. So first, if you receive a significant volume of tile, you may benefit from a second container just dedicated to tile at your facility. And then second, if you are aware of a job that will be pulling up a large amount of tile, 500 square yards or more of carpet, they may be eligible for our free or low-cost take-back program, and we can place a container right at the job site. And if your company offers or would like to offer a C&D dumpster service for source separated carpet collection, please reach out to us for additional support. And we really encourage managers of large commercial projects to contact us so that we can coordinate and make sure that we really capture all the carpet tile that's out there. Here's a link to the information on our website about the Tile Take Back program, and a contact to Rob Teese for any questions you have. Also can ask me as well. And then I also want to spotlight a company, Repurpose Earth. They are a carpet tile reuse company, and they have two locations, one in Southern California in Gardenia, and then a new location in Northern California in San Leandro. And they accept tile free of charge at both of their locations. And then not only will they allow for free drop off, they also offer pickup service for 10 pallets or more of tile for free or for a low cost, depending on the distance. And they collect carpet tile from construction projects, and then they redistribute that material to nonprofits and disadvantaged communities. And it's great to see them in Northern California. We're happy to see that beginning there. Looking forward to seeing all the more volume we're able to reuse. Okay, I'm going to do a quick grant update. So just a reminder, there are $15,000 grants available per year for each site. The grants can be applied toward infrastructure and equipment that increase collection volume for recycling or reuse projects, or projects that improve operational efficiency are also considered. Here are some photos of projects, covered containers, specialty containers, a weather structure. We also give microgrants for concrete pads, and other equipment also qualifies. Abby, are you there? Is there anything you would like to add, or does anybody have any question?
I'm here. I can add just a couple of things if you can hear me.
We can hear you just fine. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm just so grateful to have power, and thank you to everybody on the call who's here struggling through the weather. So yeah, I would only add, Lisa, that for the micro grants, just a reminder that once an entity is awarded a grant, when they sign the contract, you have a year to use the funds. So that's the term. Once you apply, it's a pretty streamlined process. The application is online unless you require a PDF, which I can send. The evaluation process is about 1 month, and then you would be notified of a grant decision. This is a reimbursement program, so if you receive a grant, then you'll need to have your contract signed, and then you can purchase whatever was approved. And then we reimburse for that purchase, and we try to do the reimbursement within 30 days. That way, if you're financing it, you won't be paying interest on whatever was purchased. And like Lisa said, we do like to see projects that increase the volume of post-consumer carpet being collected, but that's also not a requirement. If it's something that's going to help the site operate more safely or efficiently, we'll consider that as well. And then for any containers, as you can see on the photos, we require an identification sticker that this is a grant funded item. And then the larger decals are for containers. And so we send the decals, and then the site needs to install those decals on any containers. And I think that's all I have to say on that. If there are any questions, you can always contact me at my email. I think even my phone might be on the website. And that's carpetrecovery.org /California or CA-grants. I can put the website in the chat, the webpage.
Thanks, Abby.
Sure.
I see that there's some chat in here, and I've been having trouble. Okay, there we go.
One's an emoji.
Great.
Yeah, I'll put the grants webpage into the chat for everyone, and that is where the official solicitation lives, as well as the online application and the budget form.
Thank you, Abby. I appreciate it. And
Yes.
just a reminder that each drop-off site, you can apply annually, each drop-off site. So, consider, especially on a rainy day like today, it's good to be thinking about, weather cover for the future.
Mhm.
All right. We have a couple next on the agenda, just a couple of operational reminders. So like on a day like today, it's good to give the reminder that wet carpet is not recyclable. If it's wet to the touch, it's not recyclable. And if wet carpet is put into the container or carpet becomes wet while it's in the container, please remove it and dispose of it. If you use a covered roll-off and are expecting a big rain, consider covering the container with a tarp to keep the carpet dry, or again, apply for a micro grant for a weather cover. So carpet that has smoke damage or fire damaged is not recyclable, and it also needs to be disposed of. And just on that note, I would like to take a moment and recognize the immense personal material losses caused by the recent wildfires in Southern California, as well as a substantial amount of debris that local facilities will be handling in the months ahead, in the region. And we're all aware that it's a difficult time, and that if folks are on the call from the region, our thoughts are with you and all that's coming in the coming months for you. I also want to take a moment to touch on broadloom preparation. So lately, I've heard that people are thinking that carpet isn't recyclable if it isn't cut to a certain width or rolled, just like these photos. I know I often like to show these very perfectly stacked containers on these webinars. Uh, but I also want to clarify that if carpet is dry, it's most likely recyclable, regardless of whether it's folded or rolled or loose or what shape it's cut in. Um, it is a best practice to roll carpet and run a piece of tape around it, which keeps the carpet contained and clean. But all of these pictures, all the carpet looks very recyclable too. So I want to encourage you to capture it all. And then next in the what's working and what's not working portion of the webinar, we'll talk a little bit about this. So we're gonna open up the mics, look at see where your mics are, your mute buttons are, your chat buttons, and let's think about properly prepared carpet and what it takes to get it ready, and have your questions ready because we have a recycler here to clarify your questions. Marty, are you on the line?
I am. Is this thing working?
It is. We hear you just fine.
Fantastic.
So, this is Martin McLeod from Green Waste, and he is in Northern California, and he's often the person who's looking at the loads as they're coming in, lets us know if there are wet loads or dirty loads or empty loads. But because we've been hearing this concern from people that they feel like carpet needs to be perfectly rolled or has to be a certain size, I just thought I'd bring Marty in to start us off in case people have questions about this and clarification. So Marty, will you let us know, is it okay to have folded carpet? Is it okay to have loose carpet? Give us a little overview.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want to make it perfect, we appreciate it. Rolls, flats, as long as the carpet is not contaminated, like she mentioned, too much water, smoke damage. It doesn't have to be rolled a certain way. You don't have to have the fiber out. Basically, what I tell anybody that drops off near us is if I can handle it, you can handle it. Kind of take your basic room, cut it in half. Most room, 10 by 12 bedroom. If it's 6 feet long, that's fine. The biggest concern we see, especially from homeowners, is they cut it too small, which I know that sounds kind of crazy, but they'll cut it into very small pieces, under 6-8 inches, little strips, and then bring it in a garbage bag. And basically we can't do anything with that. So the rule of thumb is, if you can handle it, we can handle it.
Thanks, Marty. I know I asked you this. If it's also handleable by 2 people, is that acceptable as well?
We do break material down that comes in larger. Some of the carpet stores and warehouses will send in whole rolls or products that they are not using anymore or can't sell. So we do break that down. It's a little harder to handle, but yeah, if it takes 2 people to throw it in the truck, we'll take it.
Okay. So anyone, any questions, any thoughts, anytime that you're having an issue, is there somebody in at your facility that is recommending that carpet is cut a certain way? Any thoughts out there?
I have a question. Can we put Monterey pad in there? Foam pad?
So we accept all broadloom carpet and all padding in the container, primarily for convenience. So we encourage that we want you to be able to not get confused about what goes in and what doesn't go in. So you can put all padding in. There's probably preferences that Marty has about what padding goes in the container, but for convenience, we let people know that you can put it in the container.
I mean, if I want to add 2 cents,
Yeah, of course.
most rebond, the padding that looks like a clown threw up, a bunch of different colors, all that can go in. That's no problem. If you have a lot of the very, very old type of padding that has it was made of rubber, it almost looks like it's a purple color or a blue color, it'll disintegrate as you pick it up. That won't be recyclable and that will be landfilled. So you're transporting it from one place to another place to get dumped. Some of the commercial pad, even though it is a recycled product, it doesn't really work well to have a second life. So we prefer you don't put that in there. Basically, the Rebond style pad is the one that can be recycled and will be recycled, guaranteed.
Any other questions, thoughts? Has any of you had some issues with large pieces of carpet or folded carpet and someone saying that they're not recyclable? All right, any other questions? Okay, so I'll just repeat again. Thank you, Marty. And we really do. There are best practices, and you can see in this picture that the majority of carpet and pad is rolled, and there's a tape around it. But sometimes, carpet is picked up with the claw and dropped in an open top, or it's folded up, or whatever way it comes, we really do want it. Doesn't have to be a certain width, cut at a certain width. We really want it coming our way. Of course, there are best practices. We would love to see it that way, but we'll take it all way except for wet. Anybody else before we move on? All right, Marty, thanks so much as always.
My pleasure.
All right, so before we close, I would like to give some acknowledgements to the high volume sites, both in urban and rural areas. In rural areas, we have Devlin Road Transfer Station, RJR Recycling, Humboldt Waste Management Authority, and Pinnell's Carpet One Floor and Home. And then for urban sites, Hayward Transfer Station with 1,000,000 pounds, and Bina in Bakersfield, almost 1,000,000 pounds. And then California Cushion Company, that's great. And of course, Contra Costa Pittsburgh. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate all the great work, and please let your teams know that we appreciate all the hard work you're doing. All right. We're getting down to the end now. Are there any other questions or anything that's come up during the webinar that you would like to ask about? I'm looking for my chat button, so I can't see it. If somebody else sees anything in the chat that needs to be addressed. Whoops. Any other questions, anyone? All right, well, then we are complete. Thank you for your participation. And our next biannual webinar will be on August 14th. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day out there.